Was staying in the nation's capital. President Bola Tinubu and the Minister of the FCT, Wike, held a closed-door meeting with a delegation of Ogoni leaders led by Governor Siminalayi Fubara of Rivers State. President Tinubu assured his administration will prioritize peace, justice, and sustainable development in Ogoniland. He said this when he met a delegation of Ogoni leadership on a visit to the State House in Abuja. President Tinubu called for unity and reconciliation, urging Ogoni people to set aside historical grievances to focus on achieving peace, development, and a clean environment. President Tinubu directed the Office of the National Security Advisor to coordinate the negotiations as it called for inclusive consultation and understanding. The president commended the delegation for embracing the federal government-led dialogue and emphasized the need for collaboration, trust, and inclusiveness to resolve lingering issues in the region.
Though we have other options, and we can leave the oil and gas on the ground and abandon the community, that is not a better option. Collectively, we belong in this country. We are all responsible. As much as possible, we cannot in any way rewrite the history, but we can correct some anomalies going forward. Let us put the grievances of the past aside. It cannot heal the wounds. If we continue to be angry, the oil exploiters have moved on. But I know what to do in the memory of our beloved ones so that their sacrifices will not be in vain.
Let's bring in our State House correspondent Femi Akonde, who joins me on the news this hour. Femi, the conversations around Ogoni cleanup has been a very contentious one over the years, and to now see the president stepping in must be a relief from those, for those from that community. What more can you tell us about this particular meeting?
Well, hi, Precious. Well, for the benefit of hindsight, let me just put this into proper context. That meeting is the outcome of growing protests in Ogoniland, following plans by the federal government to resume oil production in that region. They met with President Bola Tinubu, and Minister Wike was just in that meeting on the president's delegation as a stakeholder in Rivers State, and also the member from Rivers State in President Bola Tinubu's cabinet. But the Ogoni delegation was led by the governor of Rivers State, Siminalayi Fubara, to the presidential villa alongside traditional rulers and other key stakeholders in the community. But all of this is just to ensure that the unrest in this region, the Ogoni region, is settled. The agitation that has been in that area over the years following oil spillage that has led to environmental degradation and caused significant damage to the marine life and the source of livelihood for these people. What President Bola Tinubu now is saying is that, well, he intends to start oil production, but he will not start it without listening to the people, hearing from them. They have suffered so much. Oil production stopped in that region in 1993 due to the unrest there and threats to lives, and also oil installations of the Shell Petroleum Development Commission joint venture in that area. So what President Bola Tinubu is trying to do now is to put all cards on the table. He has directed the National Security Advisor to coordinate the negotiation and the talks with critical stakeholders, because we're also seeing groups coming up to say that, well, the president or the federal government is speaking with some select groups and not talking to the entire group. What President Bola Tinubu is trying to avoid is what happened in the past that, of course, led to the death of Ken Saro-Wiwa and other prominent Niger Delta activists. So they are walking a tightrope in this area, and the talks are still ongoing, led by the National Security Advisor, and he has also instructed that NNPC cabinet members and indeed the Rivers State government cooperates with the National Security Advisor to ensure that everyone is brought to the table, everyone is heard before oil production can start in that region. And let's not also forget that President Bola Tinubu's budget, 2025 budget, has made a projection of crude oil production of about 2.1 million barrels per day. And, you know, in meeting this target, places like Ogoni will have to resume oil production. President Bola Tinubu is looking at, you know, exploring that area to see how they can ramp up crude oil production in the country. But before he does that, the people in that region must be given that assurance that, yes, their environment will be cleaned up. They will need about $1 billion to do that. And, you know, all of their years of environmental neglect will be attended to by this administration. So it's that assurance that President Bola Tinubu has given at that meeting today. But it's just the first in a series of meetings that will still hold. Precious.
Thank you so much, Femi, for putting this meeting in proper context for us, especially amidst the attempt to politicize it earlier because of those who had attended that meeting. Our State House correspondent Femi Akonde live for us in the nation's capital. Thank you, Femi.